Hi there. Now let's take a look at how to use Postman to interact with the management server using the API calls. First thing first, we're going to install Postman. Postman can be installed on Linux or Windows. For this video, I'll be using Ubuntu. So the procedure will be the same if you're installing Postman on Windows. Okay. So I'm going to install using the soft restore. Trying to speak and write at the same. I'm going to install, and have to provide our credentials. And while it's installing, so few years ago I wrote an article about interacting with the management API on Checkmate. So if you want, you can take a look. It's very detailed how to, in case you're struggling with the management API. So I strongly recommend you to take a look at it. Postman's already installed. Great. Code is open. Another post that I also want to reference is this one that you can find on Checkmate. I'll share the link on the video description, so you can take a look at it. Especially it describes how to set up Postman. This is a very old post, you can see from 2016, but there are some useful resources, so you can take a look. It's loading now. Postman at the beginning, it will request us to create a free account or sign in, but if you look here at the bottom, you can just skip and go directly to the app. Okay, it means that we'll be able to use our settings, our definitions local to our machine. One of the advantages of Postman is that you can interact with the team, so you log in and you can share your collections and with your team. Really jumping into Postman, there are some settings that we have to change. First things first, you have to go dark mode. Everything now is dark mode, and make sure make sure to disable SSL certificate verification and the spy. What is the spy? Oh, disable. Yeah, and that's it. And you can see it's working locally in Scratchpad, blah blah blah. Just disable that. And so a little detail about Postman. Postman is the tool that will allow us to interact programmatically with the management server by using a set of collections. And collections are just the instructions, the commands that we're going to send, or that will allow us to interact with the measurement API. We saw using the measurement CLI, we were able to use commands like show host, show networks, add policy, add package, all those functions, operations. So here in Postman, they are called collections. They're part of a collections, and these collections, they have depending on the API version of your management server, there are some collections, some operations that are supported. In this case, I'll be using measurement R8040, so Gaia running R8040, and its API, it's version 1.6, and actually this is one of the tests that we have to do before proceeding any further, is to make sure that the API is reachable. So my management server has to be enabled to accept API calls from different clients. So 1064.74.4. Let me type the URL HTTPS, and it's going to be API docs. Okay, so if you're able to see this, it means that your API is reachable. And right now, my management server is running version R84, so current API version is 1.6. Okay, so this thing is good. So now we need to get these collections, these commands, the operations that we can do, and we can download from this URL. Okay, and download this file version 2 because Postman doesn't support version 1 any longer. Okay, so once you download that file, I've already downloaded, so then you're going to import, select import file, upload files, and a download folder have here, and I'm going to open and version 2 and import. Okay. It's going to take 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 seconds, and it's done. We have our collections, and these are the operations that we can do. Okay, so at the time of this recording, or at least the version according to this file version. Okay, so we have the collections, and another thing we have to set up is a virtual environment. And a virtual environment is just a place where we're going to store variables with values that allow us to use those values in different operations that we're going to do. Let me show you what I mean by that. So you can see right now we don't have any environment. And I'm going to set up environment. I'm going to give it a name, and I'm going to call checkpoint. And I need to set up a variable, and the variable is going to be server. Is it server? It can be any value you want, but thing is, the name that we're going to set up here, this is one thing that I want to show you, the variable name. So you can see here server. So the variable that we're going to set up here, the name has to match. So all of these collections, they have somewhere, they have somewhere that server variable, and this server variable has to be referenced somewhere. So actually it's going to point to our environment, and in this environment we're going to store a value inside that variable. So easier showing things. So the value that is going to store is going to be your HTTPS HTTPS, okay, and the IP address of the management server. In this case I'm using 10.65.74.4, and the port is 4443, and I want you to go into this port web API, copy that, so this server variable is going to store this value, HTTPS 10.65.74.4.2.4443 web API. Okay, and I need another one, and that's going to be session. So you recall when we were using the management CLI, and whenever we logged into management server, we, as a response, we got the session ID. So that value we have to store somewhere else to be used in the following operations. Okay, so once that's done, we're going to save that checkpoint, going to close that, and for this collection what I want to do is to use this environment. Okay, so if now I select this collection, this operation, you can see that if I just place the mouse over, it shows the value. Okay, now if we press send just like that, we have bad requests. because recall that our management server is using API version 6, 1.6, and here it says 1.7. So we can solve this either two ways. We can set to 1.6 and it's going to work. It worked, but we had this authentication fail because we have to pass the credentials inside the body, and we can just change this to pass the credentials admin 1234, and that's what I'm using. And if I send it again, and that's what I want to see, status code 200, and we have here session ID. Okay, we can just change 1.7 to 1.6, or we can remove. Okay, it's up to you, and we'll have to change these to all the operations that you want to do. I believe 1.7 is the version currently running on Gaia R81. I'm not sure about that, but anyway, give it a try. So I was able to log in successfully. Okay, and I have the session ID, and guess what, if I open here this session command, and let me now this time remove this, and what is going to take body nothing, but in headers you can see that right now it has this header that is going to take the session, and where this value is coming from this one. Oh, just not safe. Okay, so now if I want to see, am I already logged in, and you can see I am. So Starzio, Carvalho, user, and okay, so we have this token valid for a period of time. I believe it's 10 minutes and the session timeout. Okay, so what are the things that we can do? Well, the same one that we could using measurement CLI, using Smart Console CLI. So for instance, let's take a look at the hosts. So 1.6, hit it. Yeah, that's cool. And you can see that we get the output. So these are the hosts that I have in measurement server. So far only one. Let's take a look at the network. So it has to be show networks. Want to update this, otherwise it's going to fail. This is what's being sent inside the body, and that. Okay, and this is default network. Okay, and it works just like the same way that we were using measurement CLI. So let's do something different this time. Let me add a gateway, and I'm going to add a simple gateway with stick. Let's take a look at body first. Let me update URL 1.6, and which parameters I'm going to take. So let me see. Currently the gateways that I have. So I only have one headquarter gateway, one simple gate. If I want to add, just give it the same name, headquarter gateway 2. Color. So for firewalls, I often use red, and the IP is going to be it's going to be 10.65.74 252. That's my second gateway, and this gateway is running Gaia 80.40. So one-time passwords, this SIC firewall true, VPN. I don't need that. Just leave false. Application control false. URL filtering. I don't need IPS, false, antibot. This is related to threat emulation. I don't need those right now. I app server. This is going to fail. That's I already know that. So interfaces. I know my gateway has 3 interfaces. So E0. That's going to be my internal interface. That's 10. 65, 74. Yep. And ask, this is /24. Anti-spoofing, yes. Topology, this is kernel. And I have this one is going to be my stick face and 65, 73, 252. This is /24 as well, and this is internal. Yeah. And I want to add one more. You can see here the way it is listed. It is a dictionary for those who already know how to use how to write scripts using Python. So I'm just going to add one more interface, and this interface has to be a comma because it has to be inside the interfaces group. And I'm just going to actually, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to be easier. And yeah. It's going to be E2, and E2, its public IP is going to be 165.74.252. It's going to be /24, anti-spoofing true, and this is going to be external. Okay, I think it's okay. Is it? I don't. Okay, looks like now I got it right. So I have E0. That's going to be my internal IP, 1065.74.252. It's internal. Anti-spoofing, yes. E1 is going to be true, internal, 1065.73/24. E2 165.74.252 24 true, external. Okay, so everything should be okay. Headquarter gateway 2, yeah, hit it. That's it. Okay, so yeah, you can see it sets code okay. It was so yeah, everything looks okay. And again, whenever we're making a change, we have to publish those changes to be visible to other admins. So now let's publish this. Where is the publish? There should be in session publish. Oh, where's that? Ah, there you go. Publish. Like this 6 and hit it. Okay, status code 200. Okay, fine. So we can confirm that by looking at the gateway, all simple gateways, and 1.6. Okay, hit it. Okay, we see we have 1 and this 2. Awesome. Okay, that's just great, and we can confirm that. Take a look, and you can see here we have a gateway 2 and the interface. Trust established, R8040, threat prevention all disabled, network management, and for some reason so this is external, but these E0 and E1 apologies didn't check. So We could change these using Postman as well, but let's just change right here. I want this to be the IP because I want to use anti-spoofing, so I want this network to be defined by the interface IP and net mask. And just place the security zone to internal zone, and okay. And we're going to do the same for E1. What if I did network by interface IP? Apology. Now let's publish. Because those changes that were made in this session, not using Postman, so I have to publish here, and it's done. And if we want, we can, let me see, install the policy as well. Should be here, access rules. Package. Install policy. Okay. So install policy. We can install policies here. You see policy package. Standard access through. We're going to enable threat prevention. Now here, something funny. If we try to issue it, so send this, it's going to say bad request because you're trying to send to this gateway, and this gateway doesn't exist. So actually what you have to do, this field has to go empty, and then when send it, that's successful. So the policy was installed, and confirm that. Okay. Installing the policy. Can check our gateway health, it's okay, R80 working normal. Okay, so a lot more can be done using Postman, but even using Python, because there's something that I want. So we can get this, for instance, let me see that one, add a simple gateway, this one, that simple gateway, so no, that simple gateway with C, yeah, this one. So all of these that all this code that we're sending using Postman, you can get the equivalent to this on Python. Yep, using Python request or client. Easy, I can actually close that. Yeah. So if I were to send this using Python, I would have the same result. Okay. So different options to use API calls. So you just have to play with it and see which one you feel more comfortable with. Again, using these API calls, they're really useful when you're going to make bulk changes, like adding more than 100, more than 50 objects. If it's just 1, 2, or 3, for me it doesn't make sense. At least you don't do that often. Now, if there are bulk of changes that you have to do, then yes, I agree that using API calls, they can be really handy. Okay, so take a look at these URLs, at these if you want step by step. Take a look at it, and if you find any trouble, write in the comments below and I'll get back to you. Okay, I hope you enjoyed this one. hit like button and subscribe to this channel, and I'll see you in the next one. Take care.